You're watching MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome here to Sammy's Restaurant. We are live here for the spring edition of Sports for Supper, and we are going to be having a lot of things going on the show tonight. We're going to start off with Coach Russell from the girls basketball team, and then we're going to have softball, baseball on here. We're going to have Coach Crisp, I believe, at some point is going to be on here. So we got a lot of things going on here.
State of the district.
Yeah, state of the district. And so we'll just jump right into it here, and we'll start with Coach Russell. And, Coach, thank you for joining us here this evening.
No, thanks for having me.
You're coming off a successful season. You finished second in district play this year. You got a playoff game coming up Monday night, a home game against Brackenridge, who I believe knocked you out of the playoffs last year,
yes,
if that's
sir.
right.
Yes,
so
sir.
you got a chance to kind of get some revenge there.
Little redemption we're hoping. So.
And so talk us kind of through the season this year, what ups and downs and how you got to this point.
Well, I'll tell you what, early on in the season, it seemed to take us a while to kind of gel. We went through our first two tournaments, and not that we were playing bad, it just wasn't up to the expectations that I thought we could be this year. And then we got into district play and beat Floresville by 2, and then went to the Hondo tournament, won the tournament. And so I think we finished winning about 18 out of our last 20 games. So I would say that we've been doing all right. Our win against Somerset on Tuesday tied a school record of wins. And so we're hoping that we can win 29 on Monday and break that school record. So,
tell us a little bit about Brackenridge. What can we expect to see from them?
They're very talented guard-wise. They're not real big, which is good because we're not real big. And so they'll run at times. They pick and choose when they push the ball. Of course, if you've watched us play like you guys have, we like to push the ball, and sometimes push when we shouldn't, but we do. And they'll push it a little bit, but they've got good guard play. You're going to see number 13 for them is probably their number one player. She's she can play a little bit inside also, but mostly on the outside, a slasher type player trying to get to the basket. And then you'll see 23, 25, and 24, and they're shooters. And, we match up well, I think. Our kids are extremely motivated for this game. Already won the first game, and that was winning the flip, so we get to play at home this year, which I've never been as a coach. I've coached in a lot of playoff games. I've never played a playoff game at home. So we're extremely excited about that opportunity and hoping we can pack the gym out.
And that's supposed to be a whiteout for that, right? That's what they want to do. Is that right?
Yes, the girls chose white shirts for our playoff shirts, and so we thought that would just kind of go with that. And so trying to white the gym out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So everybody listening, make sure if you come to the game, wear white when you come to the game. That game will be here live on Medina Valley Broadcast Network. And that's a 7 o'clock start, right?
7 o'clock, yes, sir.
And so not trying to get ahead, but what happens if the girls win? Where do they sit in the bracket?
We went in as the second seed in our district. Brackenridge is the third seed out of their district. And so the other part of the bracket that would match up next would be the number 1 out of the Austin district. That's Dripping Springs. And then number 4 out of the Hill Country, more or less, and that's Bernie Champion.
Okay.
And so, we're not – Brackenridge is going to be a tough test. We're going to really have to play well to beat them. But I know that our kids would be, we talked about it this season. Our kids that have been on varsity when they were freshmen and sophomores took some whoopings to, Dripping Springs, Bernie Champion, Kerrville Tivys, and I know they'd love an opportunity to go up against them again. Of course, that would mean that we won Monday, which would be great. So,
well, that would be a little bit of revenge Monday also. And last year I can remember the playoff game. It was close the whole way through.
Yes.
I think the biggest lead in the ball game was 6 points, I believe, at one time.
Where was
and
that
both
game
teams,
It was at Alamo Stadium at the complex there.
And both teams had a 6-point advantage, and it's just some missed little baskets underneath in the fourth quarter kind of was
the downfall,
was the difference.
So I'll be honest with you. The first time I watched that game was 3 days ago. I haven't watched it since. It was just ingrained in my head, and I didn't want to, and so obviously we're getting ready to play them again. So I thought as a coach I need to watch every single bit of footage I can be, and they got the majority of their team back. And so they're missing a few key pieces, but the majority of their team back. So I rewatched it. We had a 6-point lead going into the fourth quarter. We had the lead pretty much the entire game until about, a minute into the fourth quarter. They got a great coach. She's a great person, and she threw something at us that we weren't ready for. And she threw a little 1-2, 1-1 half-court trap, and it threw us off and made a little run on us, and that was the difference in the game. And so obviously as a coach, you reflect on yourself and what can you do better, and I'm going to make sure that as a coach I set our kids up to have the best opportunity to win on Monday. And just today talked to Coach Mo. He coaches our freshman boys. I said I need him in the gym Wednesday, so we just got done scrimmaging them for an hour, our freshman boys, and they're a talented group. And having them press us and put pressure on us I think is going to really pay off for Monday.
That's definitely a different look, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and they're big and long and athletic, so it was good. And kids had a blast, and nobody got hurt, so that was a good thing.
The huge thing here is that home court advantage right now. Yeah. Sitting there with 28 wins this year, you tied the school record, and a lot of those being at home. So that's got to be a huge advantage as far as the comfort level for the girls.
Yeah, I got high fives all day yesterday. The kids were high. Oh yeah, way to go, coach! I didn't really do much. I picked. So the way the coaches do flips on the phone is you pick a school, and then the other team picks whether the end of the zip code is odd or even. So last year I picked odd or even. This year I said I'm picking a school. So I looked at Coach Chris. You ever heard of Sunnyvale? He goes, no, I'm picking Sunnyvale. Well, Sunnyvale ends in a even number. They picked odd, we won, and here we are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a coach's book that has all the address. Okay.
And wow.
My question is, when y'all scrimmaged the freshmen, who was more physical, the boys or the girls?
Well, so I brought them together, and I said I brought them together today before we scrimmaged, and I said we were all teammates today. Well, that went out the window about a minute into it, and it was a little bit more physical than I wanted. But no, we weren't. The thing that I was proud of, obviously the boys on the scoreboard probably would have won, but we didn't back down. I said, I don't care about you getting your shot blocked. Go at them, and we went at them. And I said, don't take a charge. Let's not dive after balls. All that stuff went out the window as soon as the ball went up. But, we got away, and it's going to pay off for us, I think.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed from watching the games this year is that this team is very physical, especially on the boards. How does that match up against Brackenridge? Do they have the same team, or do you match up with the physicality?
Absolutely, I think that we do. I think that we're a little bit faster. They lost a kid last year that was about a 5'11" kid, real athletic, and she really hurt us inside. And so I'm hoping that we can take advantage a little bit on the inside. Their guards match up pretty well against us. I think we're a little bit quicker. They probably shoot the ball a little bit better than we do. So we're going to have to do some things to make sure we don't allow them to get going.
Well, our defense is known to be tough, so I would think the defense would be able to step up, and I know probably Peyton's up for the task.
Absolutely. And I'll say this, I'm going to have a bunch of former players, if they're listening right now, they're not going to like this statement, but this is absolutely the best defensive team I've ever coached. And we've had games where we've struggled to score offensively, but we've won.
That's right.
We've won because we played great defense,
right.
and it keeps us in games even when we're struggling to score.
When they talk about the physicality, Harlan, that game we did there, they have a big girl inside. Two of them, two of them that they rotate in and out. And she didn't score a lot in the first half, but she got some opportunities. In the second half, she didn't have those, and she was frustrated.
Yeah.
And you can attest that to the physicality of the defense in the second half, because it was a night and day from the intensity of it.
And I think a lot of it was they didn't have an opportunity to pass it into her because we were putting so much pressure on the guards on the outside and keeping them from getting the ball inside, which that's obviously a weapon for them. And if we can eliminate that, it definitely helped us get back in that game.
I was talking last year during the game, the young lady that was videoing the game for Brackenridge, and I can't remember which young lady she was talking about, but one of them just came back. That was the first game she had played all year. She had been hurt, and it was one of their leading scorers, and I believe it was number 23 or 24.
Okay.
But that's even if you would have scouted them, you wouldn't have seen her because that was her first game back, they said, since the second game of the season.
Well, you do the best job you can to get, I like to get as much video close to our game as I can. Obviously, in basketball, you cannot, like a district opponent can't give you tape of somebody from district. So it's got to go back before district. And so the good thing was, as we played Brackenridge in a tournament this year, was probably the worst game we played all year. We lost by 2. I only scored like 32 points. But in that game, I had a video even before that, and they had a kid get hurt. So luckily I got to see her a little bit because she's back, and that helps, just kind of spacing it out and trying to get the pieces together to come up with a good game plan against them.
If you had to pick, before we finish here, if you had to pick one thing you want to see from your team on Monday night, what is the one thing you want to see from them?
Just energy. The energy, not nervous energy. We've all played sports here, right? Before a game, if you're not nervous, there's something wrong with you. But it's a matter of when that ball goes up, that nervous energy goes out, and you have that energy. I want Brackenridge to look at us and go, I don't want any part of this. I don't want any part of this because we're all over them, and they just, I expect that our kids are going to do that. We got the offense going a little bit against Somerset. So I'd like to see us, shoot the ball with confidence, not rushing our shots, shooting in rhythm, get the ball inside early, get some easy buckets. And but those are probably, you asked for one, I gave you 2.
That's fine.
Energy and shooting the basketball, I think, would be important for us on Monday.
When Brackenridge comes in and sees all the white
Yes.
shirts that are going to be on the other side, they're going to be overwhelmed.
Well, there's going to be
As it
energy.
always, because I guarantee you the Panther side will be full.
Yeah. And I'll say this, what does anybody have to do on Monday? Got nothing to do. Come to the basketball game. That's what's going on in town, and I'm hoping that we can pack that gym to where maybe the marshals coming in and say, hey, we can't fit any more people in here.
It's a possibility.
So
that's 7 o'clock Monday night at our gym.
Game time? Where
Game
we
time,
going?
7 o'clock. We'll be on the air around 6:45.
On 6:30, you plan to go out there. Here it's $5 for adults, $3 for students. So come on out, support your local team.
And wear white.
Yeah, and wear white. And, Coach, thanks for joining us this evening. Good luck on Monday night, and we look forward to seeing you then.
thank you so much.
And we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Experience a friendly, no-pressure car buying experience and find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget at North Park Chevrolet, San Antonio's highest-rated Chevrolet dealer. Get upfront posted pricing, 10-day guaranteed trade-in appraisals, and easy financing options on our wide selection of over 450 new cars, trucks, and SUVs, plus certified and pre-owned vehicles. As the winner of GM's Mark of Excellence Award for sales volume and customer satisfaction, it's easy to see why more people are buying from North Park Chevrolet than ever before. Find new roads and experience Chevrolet. The North Parkway, a proud member of the Kalig Auto Group and a J.D. Power 2019 Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com. Highest rated dealer based on sales volume and customer satisfaction. For J.D. Power 2019 DOE information, visit jdpower.com/DOE.
TTL is a full-service engineering and environmental consulting firm specializing in civil and geotechnical engineering, construction materials testing, and environmental consulting. TTL is proud to support Medina Valley Athletics. Go Panthers! For more information on TTL's services, please visit ttlusa.com or call Justin Clemens at 210-888-6096. TTL, driven to serve our clients, our communities, and our people.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community 80 years ago, and for 80 years we've delivered safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to be a part of this community and continue to serve beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, giving back to libraries, hosting safety presentations, and so much more. We belong to this community and are honored to do so. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or at medinaec.org.
Broadcasting for Medina Valley, the state of Texas, America, and
space. the final frontier.
This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. We had Coach Russell on here from the girls basketball team, and now we're going to move into softball. And we are joined by the coaching staff for the softball team. And if y'all want to say your names into the microphone for us, we'd appreciate that. Let everyone know who we got here.
Coach Buenteo, Coach Perez,
Coach Morris,
and Coach B. That's what everyone calls you, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit. Like, you had a long run into the playoffs last year. What do you have coming back this year, and do you expect the same from your team this season?
I wouldn't say I expect the same. I expect more because now you've got a lot of seasoned players and they know the system. We did lose, some key players, but we've built up, and I think that people are ready to take on that role and have a good impact and look for a strong run again. But we'll just take one game at a time, just like we did last year. And if it works out, it works out. But we'll focus one game, 1 week at a time. Don't want to look too far ahead because you got to take care of business.
When does the season actually start? Y'all are just scrimmaging right now?
We have a scrimmage Saturday, and then Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, is our first district game against Uvalde here at home.
It's kind of like the boys. They start out district against Uvalde as their first game. So right off the bat, you got a tough one.
What's the reasoning for that?
Our district's just too large,
Okay.
and then the way the scheduling went when we had that initial meeting was, everyone wanted to at least get in one tournament, so we kind of left the weekend open, so that's where we host our tournament. And then we happen to have the bye the following week, so kind of worked out for us that way. But
Who are the teams that you're going to have coming for the tournament here?
Here we have Churchill, we have Austin Atkins, Corpus Christi Moody, Alice, trying to think now, drew a blank.
That's
Harlan.
18?
No, there's 9 of them.
9 of them.
So
That's quite a few, and that's scheduled for the 20th through the 22nd. It's a Thursday through Saturday tournament, and we're hosting it, correct?
And I guess one I can't forget is Hondo, because they like to have that last game of the tournament and make it kind of like the grand finale. So Hondo's coming. That's another one.
And the junior varsity is involved also,
yeah.
aren't they?
So
Okay.
it's kind of like 2 tournaments going on at once. So
There's a lot of teams going on, yeah, definitely. And then y'all have a scrimmage this Saturday, is that correct?
Yeah,
who
we
do y'all
have our
scrimmage?
tri-scrimmage. We play San Antonio Veterans Memorial, East Central, and then John Jay.
And y'all have had 4 scrimmages already?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mhm.
How did y'all look?
Some of the scrimmages were a little rough, but we're giving everyone an opportunity to show what they have and to show whether where they belong. I tell the girls, your playing will dictate where you go, and plus we've got to get pitchers in condition and stuff like that. So we do have some rough innings, but overall, what I expected, it's coming together, and this weekend we'll see a lot truer picture of what we're going to be like.
The outlook is Southwest still going to be the team
Southwest
to beat?
would be the team.
Well, Medina Valley's the team to beat, but
yeah.
is Southwest the second?
Yeah, Southwest, they only lost one girl, and that was Martinez. So they're a big hitter who, everyone probably dogged me for walking, but hey, it paid off. We got the W, when we
3 times.
played them. Well, we got 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
So, it clinched it, but they only lost that one senior, and they have everyone returning. So, but we've got a strong crew, and, I would say we're still kind of fairly young as well. So, and we're hungry, and we'll be competing. So.
Who will be the other teams in the mix for the district?
I would say Eagle Pass win because they're always like scrappy, and they put the ball in play, and you kind of never know what to expect. So between them, Southwest, us, and then I would say Legacy and Harlan will be fighting for 3-4 in there.
Legacy is going to be one of those teams to watch, even on the baseball side of it, because they were all young just a couple of years ago, and last year they were young, and they're going to return everyone, I would assume. So they can sneak up behind you if you don't watch out for them.
Yeah.
As far as your pitching goes, you've got same pitcher back from last year, I'm assuming. I know Mari did all those games. I did the baseball games. So I know you've watched it more than I have.
2 pitchers are back.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost Ashley Deacock, but we've got Trista Miller back. We've got Tristan Binky. And then we have Kirsten Stivers, who, we didn't use her as much on the mound last year, but plan to use her this year just because it brings a whole different perspective. She's kind of, she'll hit her spots, and she's a different speed, and she's got a changeup that's working for her right now, and gives us a lot of pop-ups and grounders, and as long as we play defense, she should be able to help throw off teams, especially more like a closer or something like that. But we'll definitely kind of mix in all the pitchers and go from there.
Are we senior heavy?
We have
Or is
seven.
it a good mix?
We have 7 seniors, but I would say it's a good mix.
2 of the returning starters are still involved in basketball. Is that correct?
Right. The 2 of the starters from last year, they're still in basketball, and so we'll wish them the best of luck, and we'll be out there Monday to support them because we'll end up practice, early and be out there. And I think it's white out, so I'm gonna have to dig out a white shirt and get out there.
Do y'all run into any where the girls are in track or anything like that do track and softball? Does that end up being a scheduling conflict later down the line or no?
We have a couple, but we end up working it out. A lot of them, it'll be like they go do their event and then they come and join us, so if anything, they're an inning late or something, and it's just getting them caught up. But usually it kind of works out. More of the conflict happens more in like tournaments or in the scrimmages, but once we hit district, I think there was really only one that might conflict, at least that I remembered last year that conflicted was district. It was with our last game against Southside. Other than that, it kind of balances out and we're okay.
You have 2 new coaches helping you this year.
3
new coaches.
Okay.
Which coach sitting here is taking Mr. Quapic's place, and which one is taking Mr. Shearhart's place?
I don't know about how you can say taking those places.
Who's going to be joining you on the bases?
Well, I'll have both these coaches here on the bases, and and then Coach Johnson will be with me in the dugout, and we'll be charting and calling signs, and we kind of have each different roles. And the philosophy behind that is that, and the girls can tell you, I'm not loud, so if I scream, chances are they're not going to hear me. So I'd rather put 2 that are louder that can tell them go, there's a pass ball, or, hold up, because I can yell till I'm blue in the face, and they'll be like, Coach, I didn't hear you. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to lose a game because, you couldn't hear me, so we're going to put someone out there. And, it's kind of like what I tell the girls, you rely on, other people's strength, and, you know where your weakness is, and I know where mine is, and I'm not the loudest, so I'm going to put louder people out there on the bases to help us, score runs or, help us advance further.
You'll be the one banging on the trash can?
No, that's not me.
Get the drumsticks
I want to talk to you.
Okay.
So you got to be excited about coming into the season of softball because you have a softball background, right?
Oh, yes.
You played?
I played at Our Lady of the Lake in San Antonio.
Okay, so we talked to you a little about
And Kerrville.
Yeah, in Kerrville Tybee.
We'll let that go. We'll let that go.
The joke is I chose to come to Medina Valley.
So talk to us a little bit about what your expectations and what's your feelings right now going into the softball season.
Well, I was just super excited to be able to work with the Medina Valley program because it's always been in such high esteem. I know right now I come here and everybody thinks Tyvee's the best, and I'm like, guys, we thought you were the best. Y'all were the competition to beat when I was in school, and I think it's still that way. So I was really excited to come here, and I've loved all the girls working with them. They're great workers. They're skilled athletes, even if they don't know it. Sometimes I don't think they understand like how athletic you are and how talented you are compared to other programs. I think they get so used and accustomed to how high caliber the whole school is in athletics and UIL and everything we do. We are so competitive with it. So I'm really excited from what we've already had with the scrimmages. The girls do great on all our feedbacks. They take it in, they learn from it, and so I'm ready for games. I'm ready for Uvalde. I'm like, let's go.
That's one thing about bringing in new coaches. They bring a level of excitement into the game, and the kids kind of stick to that a little bit. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Good luck with being in between the lines there, because what you're going to realize when you're out there in the field, there are 230 coaches in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
That know more than you do.
Yeah, they know more than you do.
And they're not afraid to voice their opinion.
That's okay, because I clear the mechanism. That's what I do.
So,
yeah, especially in softball and baseball. There's a bunch of coaches out there, and they all know.
Better.
And,
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
You're going to be on the radio this year, so you.
Yeah.
All right, let's pass it over to. Say it again. How do you say it? Say it again. I'm sorry.
Morris, just
Morris.
like Morris with an H on the
Morris.
end.
Okay, and give us a little bit of background of where you Or is this your first year at Medina Valley? Have you been there?
It is my first year
Okay.
at Medina Valley, but I've been a coach for going on 9 years now.
Okay.
Haven't been always a softball coach, but I was head coach at Center Point in Center Point, Texas, over by Kerrville for 3 years. That was an hour commute for me, pretty long, so I looked for something a little bit closer. I live in San Antonio. Came here to Medina Valley, had all kinds of opportunities thrown my way, and just, I was glad I was snagged up. I don't work at the high school. I'm a middle school coach, coach football, coach basketball, and then now I'm here at softball. I'm kind of joining the club a little bit late and still learning a lot of names, but it's been fun so far.
Well, you're starting out at the age group where you're teaching fundamentals, and you can't. To me, that's as important as being up at the varsity, because that's where they're going to learn. They're going to respect
Absolutely.
you before they're going to get somewhere down the line, and the fundamentals has been
Absolutely.
so overlooked the last few years that it's just it just makes somebody just sick just watching and thinking, now where did they learn this from? And I commend you for starting out at that early of an age, because that's where they're going to learn.
Well, it is interesting. You go from junior high to the high school level, and yet, like you said, you're drilling fundamentals with those junior high kids. Then you get to a position where these girls are pretty solid with them. They need reminders every now and then. Just fielding with two hands. We still have girls out there the younger ones that still want to go after a ground ball with just one glove and just forget about that second hand. But so we run drills. We're on top of those fundamentals every day. I think we're going to be the better team for it.
That's good.
Yep. And guys, thanks for joining us here. Y'all got anything else before we?
No, I'm just looking forward to the season.
We've got some players I think you brought with you, right?
Yes, sir.
Who'd you bring with you over there?
Oh, well, one of our loudest ones, Emily over there, and she's very vocal. And then I call them the Twin Towers because they're pretty much the tall ones we have there. Stivers and then Cancino. So.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. Good luck in the season upcoming, and we look forward to watching y'all down the line.
Absolutely.
And you're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Are you ready for a vacation? Tanya with Travel by Design can help you with all your vacation destination needs. At no cost to you, she can plan all of the details tailored to your unique wants and needs. So all you have to do is enjoy your vacation. Tanya is a certified expert with Disney, Universal Orlando, and California, Sandals, and all cruise lines. Give Tanya a call at 830-931-4834 or visit her Facebook page, Tanya with Travel by Design, for all the latest specials and must-do vacations.
Peerless Equipment, your South Texas irrigation experts. Peerless Equipment specializes in sales and service of irrigation equipment to the agricultural and wildlife industries. This includes hose reels, big guns, pivot systems, underground pipelines, turbine well pumps, booster pumps, motors, valves, and an inventory of much more. Stop by one of their locations in Hondo and Pearsall, or give them a call at 210-434-7867. Peerless Equipment, bringing water to you.
Buying a new house means a lot of decisions, starting with where are you going to get the best mortgage? At our bank, we offer competitive rates, flexible terms, expert-friendly advice, and without the long wait you get from one of those big city financials. Make your dream home a reality. Talk with us. We're an equal housing lender. Come home to Castroville State Bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at castrovillestatebank.com.
Willing to accept the responsibility that you have to protect this team and this school and this town. And make no mistake about it, gentlemen, we are in the business of protecting this town.
This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to Sports for Supper, as we're joined here by three of the softball players, and we're going to start right in the middle. And Emily's your name, right?
Yes.
And tell us your full name, tell us your position you play, and what year you are in school.
Okay. I'm Emily Friesenhahn. I play center field, and I'm a senior.
All right. And how long have you been on varsity? All 4 years or no?
No. I took over center field on varsity as a sophomore.
Okay. And kind of what's y'all's main goal for this season? Is it a state championship? Is it?
Yeah, we want to go to state.
Okay. Go ahead, Maury.
Last year, you were flanked on one side by Christine Shearhart. She's going to be hard to replace. Who is in line in that position now?
Definitely Kirsten is one of them. We also have Tristan Binky, one of our pitchers, fills in there too. And we have a lot of outfielders.
When Kristen would move to the outfield, who would be taking over first base?
Tristan Miller, usually.
So what just go over the starting batting lineup that y'all have had so far.
What we've had so far? Well, usually I'm first, and then it's usually Taylor Chester, and it's never really the same. Just she's kind of switching it up right now to see who
just
fits
to find
well.
out what's
going to work the best. Yeah.
So where last year, pretty much the whole time you were batting 6th or 7th somewhere to add power to the bottom of the lineup. Where do you prefer to bat, or does it really matter?
It doesn't really matter. I feel that I should usually be in the front because I'm usually an on-base hitter.
Put the ball in play.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I mean, let's talk about what happened. Was it yesterday morning or?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, this morning. Oh, yesterday morning.
Yeah, yesterday morning. Tell us what happened yesterday morning.
Oh, I signed to play softball at the University of St. Thomas in Houston. It's a D3, Division 3, and it's a startup program. So next year is going to be their very first year of having softball there. So that's pretty cool.
Well, congratulations on that. That is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the St. Thomas
Celtics.
Celtics. Okay, we need to follow her as that progresses on next
Wow,
year.
then you can say I was the St. Thomas is that's the house that Friesenhunt built, right?
There you go.
There you go. There you
Well,
go.
glad to hear. Congratulations on that. I just
Thank
wanted
you.
to throw that in before we talk about any more of the softball. But congratulations, and yeah, we've got some others, and we'll talk about those later on. But while she's here in front of the table, I wanted to congratulate her. And so center field got a long season before we even talk about next year. We talked a little bit. Expectations are go deep into the playoffs. Going to be a team effort.
Yes.
All the way around.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So you guys, senior?
Sophomore.
Okay, so talk a little bit about how y'all are grouped up, the seniors, juniors, and sophomores. What do you expect from the younger ones? Or y'all talk a little bit how y'all take on more leadership role?
I mean, our field is probably going to be mostly seniors, honestly. We have a huge sophomore class. It's like, 12, 13? Wow. Yeah, big. So they'll be helping out too, but some good juniors, so I mean, it's all the way around. Going to have help.
A large roster, though, right?
Yes.
So you have Southwest and then kind of the other teams, but what does Southwest put in front of you that the other teams just do not have? Just the power up and down the lineup, or what?
Just talent, pitching. I mean, most of them all play select softball. They're all just talented.
So in the summer, y'all are pretty much teammates on different teams, or on the same team with those girls, or not?
Yeah, I mean, I'll see them around and stuff during the summer. They're just Southwest has a lot of talent, so.
Tell us a little. Do you do anything else other than softball? Do you play other sports?
I did, but after sophomore year, I just kind of was like, I'm going to focus on getting to college softball. So.
It worked.
Yep.
After the game, the calming influence, is that mom or dad?
Dad, for sure. Oh yeah, my mom.
I would've never
my mom
thought
doesn't
that.
really have softball education, not really, but yeah, my dad's always just right after the game, just straight to what I did wrong, and after that's over with, he'll kind of be like, "But you did this good," and so.
Well, there wasn't too many things he could criticize last year.
No.
Not at all.
And so, Emily, thanks for joining us, and we'll move on to whichever one of y'all wants to speak next. What are we calling her? Little Jeff?
No, don't call me that. Do not call me that.
All right. And go ahead and tell us your name and position, number, all that.
I'm Kirsten Stivers. I play outfield. I'm a senior, and I changed my number to 1 this year from 5.
Why? Why is that?
5 didn't work for me the last 2 years, so I thought something else would work better.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
And Coach Montella said you have also done some pitching in the scrimmages so far also?
Yes, I have. I pitched freshman and sophomore year on JV, and then I didn't pitch last year, and this year I kind of joked like, oh, Coach B, I'll come out of retirement. And then in the summer, whenever we went to the summer stuff, she was like, Stivers, you're coming out of retirement. And I was like, what? Are you sure? She's like, yeah, I need you pitching this year. So I've been pitching. I've been doing pretty good. Well, a lot better than I expected.
Well, you can never have too many pitchers, that's
No,
for sure.
absolutely not. So when you quit pitching, was it an arm problem, or you just wanted to, play somewhere else? Or?
Yeah, I wanted to focus more on outfield because she told me that would be my chance to be on varsity was to do good in outfield. So I just stopped pitching and went strictly outfield.
Kirsten, do we have a deep ball threat this year? Who's gonna be jacking them this year?
Burris Baum.
That's right, she's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a Guerrero grenade.
Oh, Jesus.
Guerrero grenade.
Done have them.
You got them all figured out. You got names for them all. All right, well, we'll start asking you them questions then, Maury.
Maury.
But what is your preference position on the field? First base, center field?
For me?
Well, you're not going to get center field
Not
from
center
Emily,
field.
So,
I would prefer left field, but I think I'm more useful in right field. So I've been playing in right field in the scrimmages.
And that's probably where a lot of the balls are going to go, especially with Trista and Tristan, yes. In the circle, because they both bring it pretty good. So that right side of the defense is going to be key.
At least for the right-handed batters,
For sure.
Do you do any other sports other than softball?
I do. I high jump, and track, and I was supposed to run the 100, but I left early to go to the softball scrimmage, so I might run it, maybe not.
And tell us about high jump. What's like the highest you've cleared?
The highest I've cleared is 5 foot, and I've only done that one time. But last year I cleared 4:10, and I was the area champion.
And you have your goal to keep clearing that 5 foot mark like consistently now? Is that
yes? That's my goal.
For this year?
We had a track meet yesterday, and I cleared 4.8 already. So I'm hoping I'll get there by the end.
So Kirsten, how does that schedule work out? I mean, so you go last period to track, or then go to base the softball?
That's what I did last year, but now middle school goes to track during 8th period, so either I'll have to leave softball early and go to track, or go in the morning, or not go at all.
So you haven't started that yet? Or is it?
Last week I went in the morning, and then Monday I went after school, but I'm waiting until basketball ends to decide when exactly I'm going to go.
So you've got a full schedule, so Dad's probably happy that you're driving now.
Oh, yes, for sure. It didn't help, though, when we only had one car.
Yeah.
That was a pain.
Well, good luck this year. Thanks for coming on the show with us. And we got one more here. We'll pass the microphone down, and if you'll do the same as they did, name, number, year in school.
I'm Gabrielle Cancino. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a utility player.
So you're one of those 12 sophomores that they've got on the team this year.
Yes, one of them, yes.
Tell us a little bit about what that's like being the underclassman on a team that's got the caliber of players that Medina Valley has.
With the seniors, I don't know. It's a lot of fun with them. They definitely can boss us around here and there, but they're a lot of fun to be around, and yeah, they're good leaders.
What is your definition of a utility player?
Personally, I think as a utility player, my job is to go wherever I'm needed and get the job done.
So you're a solid infielder. Do you play any outfield?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you get on the mound at all? Not yet?
No, not that. That's probably the one thing I won't probably be able to do.
Yet, you're just a sophomore.
There was several times last year, even during the playoffs, that Gabby came in and got some really big hits in situations to where you normally wouldn't put a freshman in there, but Coach Brontello had confidence in her, and Gabby came through. And if there is a definition of a utility player,
That's her.
It would be her, and Kirsten came in a lot of times too in situations like that. You know, they were both, you know, utility players. Emily, she's a staple mate out there in center field, and you watch her chase down a fly ball, it's unbelievable. But, you know, Gabby, it takes a different mentality to have to be ready to play any position. Who prepared you, or how do you prepare yourself for saying, well, I may have to go in and play shortstop
or third base
or third base
like
or
that,
something, you know?
Yeah. I
because
think
it's spur of the moment. I mean, it's.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think going in wherever I'm needed, I'm just like, okay, like you're here and like you got to get the job done no matter what. So I think just going in and having like the mentality of like probably just doing your absolute best and giving it your all is what at the end of the day gets the job done.
What Coach Chris would say, next man up in football or baseball. You've got to be ready.
Yeah,
whenever.
Hands down for sure, 100%.
Let me ask you this question, because it's one of the things that's always kind of baffled me about the softball field. Like, I played first base through when I was playing, and you can get some hard balls hit at you at the corner, but when you're playing third base in softball, you're in front of the bag. You're right there, and that ball is right there in a hurry.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like, you got to have a no-fear mentality to
Yeah.
be able to play right there.
For sure. I think whenever I do play third, it's definitely always on your toes. Be ready to move, and yeah, don't be afraid
I mean,
whatsoever.
sometimes you're halfway up the line.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for
you
sure.
got some girls swinging the bat
Especially
hard.
on
I mean,
slappers.
it's all of a sudden right there in your face.
So, and, you know, and as a freshman, I mean, that feeling has just got to be something different, that's for sure.
I mean, playing select, I played third when I played select, and especially on slappers, I would play 50% for the bunt because they were the quickest on the team.
No fear.
So, yeah, just got to go for it.
Do you wear a face mask if you play third base?
No,
Or
sir, I don't.
No, you don't.
Wow.
Does it bother you if you do? Like, is it just, I mean, a personal preference?
I used to, but then I was just like, yeah, no, don't need this anymore.
Nice.
Who is going to take over the catching duties this year?
I
heard that the team was delivered a blow that one of the young ladies I saw her
Morgan
injured.
Henrich, yeah, she tore her ACL during basketball. But right now we have Taylor Chester, she's a senior, and then Hayden Renslow, she's another sophomore. So
Taylor did some catching last year, correct?
yes. Yeah.
When you're an underclassman and you look up to some of the seniors that are here, do you kind of try to say, hey, in 2 years that's going to be me? Like, do you try to model yourself after that to say, this is how I want to be 2 years from now, doing this with, like, the underclassmen? Do you think about that ever?
Yeah, I do actually. So they're really good leaders, but I think thinking like 2 years ahead when I'm a senior, I just want to be like the better role model to them, and you know, just like if they aren't doing something correct, like fix it, like tell them to fix it, but tell them to fix it like, you know, like with a good attitude and
Right.
not being like, yeah, being bossy. about it.
Negative and being like, oh, I'm an upperclassman, I can tell you whatever I want.
Yeah.
Well, girls, thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate having y'all here. Good luck in the season coming up, and we look forward to watching y'all down the line.
Yeah, good luck. Is it Saturday? You'll have a scrimmage? Is it a
Yes.
3-team scrimmage? Good luck with that. And then the following Tuesday, they open up against Uvalde at home, JV and the varsity, 1 at 5 and 1 at 7 to start the season off with a district game. And then from there, I think they're sliding the tournament season for a few tournaments. So it's going to be fast and furious here real quick.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, good luck to y'all, and we're going to take a quick break and come back. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we will continue here in just a moment.
Sports for Supper.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley. This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Nobody can design, create, or maintain your lawn better than 3D Landscaping and Irrigation. With over 17 years of experience, owner Ray Doyen and his crew take pride in their craftsmanship and service. They're fully insured, offer free estimates, and multiple references, so you know you're getting the best. 3D does landscaping, lawn maintenance, irrigation, tree installation, lighting, and more. Whether it's residential or commercial, 3D Landscaping and Irrigation has you covered. Give 3D a call at 830-985-9115 or find us online at threedlandscaping.com.
Bush's Chicken, one of the oldest locations in Castroville, is proud to serve the Medina Valley area. Bush's Chicken has one goal: be the best. Bush's Chicken knows its success comes from loyal customers in the communities they serve. Stop by Bush's Chicken on Tuesday and get the Tender Tuesday deal, or try their buffalo fries and ask about their Panther special. It's always a hit. Bush's Chicken, 935 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call them at 830-538-2800.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper. Sorry about that little difficulty there for a second. We'll get that worked out.
Jared's overwhelmed.
Oh, that was the wrong thing to say. But, no, we'll get that worked out for you. And we're joined here by Coach Crisp, Athletic Director for Medina Valley. Coach, thanks for being on.
Glad to be here.
And you're on here to kind of give us a state of the district, I guess you could say, the sports, the way, what Medina Valley sports has been doing over the course of the season, and all the different things. We got soccer, I think there's swimming, different things like that. The tennis teams in their spring season now. So kind of tell us a little bit about what's going on.
I'll say that February is a crazy month, February, March, but February particularly, because we have everything pretty much going on except for football and cross country. And so we've got some things kicking off, some things wrapping up. We had swim that just got back. They finished regionals a couple weeks ago. I think we had a relay team and several swimmers that made it out there. Powerlifting is getting to the tail end of their season. They'll be wrapping up in the next month. Boys and girls soccer right in the middle of their district season. I know girls basketball is wrapping up. Boys basketball's got a week left. Track just kicked off. They had their first track meet last night. Did well there. I know we got a lot of kids that placed. I think the boys team got first. Man, I can't. There's so much going on that I can't even juggle it all. It's like what else? Tennis kicking back off. I know golf is they're going again. So it's wild and crazy.
And as an athletic director, how busy does that keep you?
I don't get home before 9 or 10 most nights. It's we actually hosted a district. Last Saturday was a lot of fun. We had our district middle school basketball tournament that we hosted the 7th grade boys, and then there was also the softball scrimmage tournament going on, and we had the baseball little kids camp rolling at the same time, all on campus, and then we had our powerlifters at East Central. And so I got to see a little bit of everything, and it's just busy.
Tell us a little bit about, I know the girls soccer program's doing pretty good. I think they're going to be in the playoffs. I don't know how their playoff system works.
Yeah, well, with soccer, I've got some experience there, but every win will give you 3 points.
Right. Okay. They do it like that.
They do it a point system.
I didn't know if they did it like that.
And so, and every tie will give you 1 point, and a loss gives you 0. So they're doing well. It looks good in terms of playoffs, and we don't want to jinx them or anything. I'll knock on some wood. But the boys are also right in the middle of it, and so I think they're a point out of being in playoff contention. And with a whole round yet to go, I think they go to, let's see who they play the other day. Played Floresville, so they're playing Southside this weekend on Friday. So that'd be the end of the first round, and they all have a whole round to go. So, I mean, everything's still very possible.
And in the playoffs, it's a knockout one game, and it's done. They don't do no aggregate.
No. We don't get crazy. Okay. It's just like everything else. It's a single elimination tournament basically is how that's structured. So.
Okay. And I know, well, you got so much stuff going on. we got the girls basketball team going to be in the playoffs starting Monday night, and that's a home game. So
yeah, that's exciting. Yeah.
When they have a home playoff game like that, what does that do to your schedule? Do you have to prepare for that? Get people to work?
Yeah, we got to make sure we got the game covered in terms of security. We got facilities requests in. We got people to work the tables. We want to be good hosts. People come. We've had we hosted a couple volleyball games back in the fall. There's 2 teams that wanted to come play, and that's a neat experience. You get two teams that aren't from here, and they want to come use your facility, and that's you want to be a good host, and you want to do the same thing anytime you win the flip, and you want to make them comfortable, make it where everybody feels good, and you want it to be a positive atmosphere all the way around. And so that's kind of what we're focused on doing.
And the other thing, tell us a little bit about the swim team. This is the second year you've had swim, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. How does that work? Do you have how many kids are competing in it?
We're getting close to 50, or maybe a little bit more. We're struggling right now. There's last year we had the luxury of having Palo Alto's pool, and we were busing kids down there to use their pool, but they've since started remodeling that. I know that when we started the season this year, we were using the regional park pool, and we're still working on trying to get everything going there. That's a great. It's instead of driving 40 miles round trip, it's 4 miles.
Really. One's outdoor and one's indoor.
One's outdoor and one's indoor, but they're
right?
One's Olympic size, but at regional park, it's long enough for us to get our laps in, and so it works, but it gets cold, and so I know a lot of schools do have outdoor pools, and they just got to get it heated, and I don't know, I'm not, I can barely swim, so hey, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that if you jump in cold water, it sucks. So we're working on trying to get things working for them, and but they're doing well. Especially, we kind of joke a little bit. We're like the best dry land swim team in the state. So we get them in the pool when we can, but for not having all of the facilities and everything set up, those kids do a great job, and it's been pretty good.
So district realignments came out, 2 weeks ago or last week?
I think it was so it's about a little over a week ago.
So
10
talk a little
days.
bit about that and how it affects us.
So we had our district's going to look very similar. We had 3 teams drop out and one come in. So we're actually going to go from an 8-team district to a 6-team district. Kennedy, Memorial, both opted up to go 5A D1, and then Uvalde dropped to 4A D1. And so we picked up Floresville. And so between us, between where we're at and the Valley, there's no one else in 5A D2. So all the other schools, Austin kind of flooded that particular size, 5A D2, they flooded it. And so we got pushed down from 14 5A to 15 5A D2. And so that changes some things where
playoff
matchups first round go a different direction now.
That's
so
a Valley team now, right?
Yeah, we'd go down south first, and then make it to the next round. Then you'd be playing back up. So instead of playing Brenham this year, we'd have gone down and played somebody. I can't even remember who it would have been, but so that changes that. Only having 5 district games now is a little bit different, and then I like
scheduling for the non-district games.
Has
right?
that started?
Yeah.
Scheduling for non-district?
Yeah, we've got it all pretty much sewn up. We can't officially say anything until after, but we do know who we're going to play in terms of who's what dates we're playing and times and that kind of thing, or home and away. That's not all quite sorted out, but we do have so unofficially I'm going to exercise my right to recant this later, but Southwest Legacy would be our first non-district game, and then we'd play Jay, who we used to scrimmage.
Yeah.
And then that'll be a good test. Veterans Memorial, which is the new Judson school, pretty salty team right there. I actually know a lot of those coaches there, work with some of them. And then we'll play Southwest week 4, and then we have Uvalde week 5.
So Jay is 6A though, right?
J6A. Yep. Everybody on that's either 6A or 5A D1 except for Uvalde.
So I've been asked this a lot since I've heard about things through the community, and people ask.
Oh, you noticed that I didn't say Hondo.
That's I get asked that a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe
tell
us why we're not playing Hondo.
You'd have to ask the guy down the street.
Okay.
Well, it comes down to size, and when I called and asked if we were going to re-up that game, they were not interested in playing, and I understand why. And honestly, it's not a terrible thing for us.
Right.
I enjoy playing Hondo. I'd love to preserve the rivalry because it's good, I think, for both communities. I hope one day down the road we can pick that back up. But when we schedule our sub-varsity games, I've got 2 freshman teams, 2 JV teams. When we play Hondo, I've got to call somewhere else to get another team here, and it's not it has nothing to do. It's not their fault. It's just we've got a ton of kids right now, and they don't. So
right. No, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And I just know I got asked a lot, and I said I think that was kind of Hondo's call, but
yeah.
we have you here, so you can tell us for
was
sure.
not my call. I promise you.
Yeah.
That was I would have kept playing, but with the understanding, I know where he's coming from. It's really we dropped Bernie for kind of the same reason. When I talked to the coach at Bernie, I said, you've got 1 freshman team, you got 1 JV team. You're a 4A, we're a 5A. Yeah. I'm in a lose-lose situation. I'm having to do a lot of extra work here. I can play J. And, we're a 5A playing a 6A there. It should be a tough game. And we play Jay's JVB team probably 3 times throughout the season just because they've got as many kids as we got. And we're very similar. So it's good. And we try to pick up some former rivals, in the Southwest crew. So playing Legacy and Southwest is hopefully going to be something good.
Now tell us this, like this year and the last couple of years, you have a football district and then you have a district for your other sports. Is everything going to be under one district now next year? It's going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be almost exactly like it was last year. Again, the what we call the volleyball district is very similar with the exception of a couple of things. And
Harlan's gone.
Yeah, Harlan's gone. They're going to go up there and get a taste of 6A. And
they got moved to that tough district too.
Oh yeah, well, good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uvalde, obviously they've dropped down to 4A, and so they replaced those 2 with good. Tentatively, it will be McCullum and Harlandale. Yep. Yeah, and so and both of those schools, I know in baseball, in a lot of sports, they do a great job, and so I think that's good competition for us.
Oh, we had a fun game against Harlandale and Wimberley. Remember that?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm real happy with the schedule. We're not driving to Waco. That's awesome. And all the other teams that we're playing are great competition, but I think they're all winnable games if we play well. And I think that goes for all the sports, not just football. And everything's pretty close.
We have nothing on a Friday night down 281. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Because that's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's 281 period's a nightmare.
I saw a quote in the news after the realignment was done. The quote was, the toughest district in the state. What are your thoughts on that as far as football goes?
It's tough. I mean, there's a lot of teams that in San Antonio particularly they opted up to 581 just because, they felt like maybe they had a better shot. And, that's something we weren't going to do. I like it. I like being able to go up against good teams week in and week out because you're getting you're sharpening the sword every week. You're not going to have any kind of when you do get to that point, you make the playoffs, you've earned it, and then you're ready.
That's right. And then you just kind of tentatively gave us the non-district schedule, and that's not going to be easy either.
No,
so from day one to the last game, it's going to be tough. It seems like.
Yeah,
that's playoff teams, every one of them, except Uvalde. They're all in the playoffs.
They may be this year.
Yeah, they may be this year.
May be. Yeah. And and Jared mentioned the Hondo aspect, but from your standpoint, as being the athletic director and the head football coach, not to disrespect any other program, but it was a non-win situation. Yeah. If the Panthers don't up their game and win, well then, all heck breaks loose. But you're supposed to win, so then they say, well, you know what, you're supposed to win. So it was a win-win situation.
It's going to help you to play better competition, and it's going to help your football
team.
And it's going
to
help them,
and it'll help them to be able to play people more like them too. And I think that's the best thing. When you make these decisions, you got to think about what's right for these kids. And it's not necessarily fair for somebody to have to go up and ram your head against the wall, and it's not both ways. You want to be able to make everybody a little bit better.
Well, and just look at the expansion. I mean, Medina Valley has gotten real big. Hondo has nowhere to get any other students. Yeah. So it's just the
and the future
time. It's just the way the times are, and you just got to move. Got to move on.
I mean, go pick on Southwest a little bit. We'll
There
see
you
what
go.
happens
Yep.
there. We'll be the little brother trying to pick on big brother now.
Hey, we took care of it before in the past.
It's like the change is the only thing constant.
Well, and that's 3 schools if you look at it. You had Bernie and Champion split, and we've been playing them forever. Southwest split. Medina Valley's gonna split at some point down the road. So you've got 3 communities that have all grown tremendously. Now you get to play all of them, and you're playing more. They're all drawing the same amount of students.
Yeah.
So I like the way that's working out with that. Like, I mean, I don't like that we're growing and getting bigger because I like my small town, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
We looking at any upgrades to facilities or anything coming up?
I
mean, we've done a lot the last
We're
couple
building
years.
a new elementary school, and here's the most important thing is that we can get some kids in some classrooms. We got to teach them first, and we'll make do. We've got plenty of room out there, and we're going to be all right. And it'd be nice to you walk into Dripping Springs and things like that, and it's pretty. But you know what? There's something about coming out here and playing in the middle of the cornfields that I every coach I talk to, they're like, man, I really don't like going out there. Just because there's a different feel, and you know what, I like that. It's okay.
Yeah,
playing on grass, and
absolutely. We're going to be talking about baseball here in a little bit, but just the outfield where the cars get to park on the outside fence, you don't see that everywhere.
No, and growing up here, you got that feeling of how Friday night football was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And when you go to these bigger stadiums and it's more almost commercialized, you don't get that feeling like you do when you go to a game.
Exactly right. I agree.
Yeah, so I say get them in the classrooms, and then we'll just keep mowing our grass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay.
And plowing the fields.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
There's nothing better than going visiting to a visiting school, and when you leave, you can't even see the highway. You got cornfields everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can sit at the baseball field and watch the deer in the oats patch below you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hey. It's small, it is what it is. That's why I'll never move.
Yeah, it's special.
Well, guys, anything else before we go on to baseball? Coach, thanks for joining us. We
Always a
appreciate
pleasure,
it.
yeah.
And, thanks for letting us know what's going on, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next season when we get into some football.
I really hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They will be.
Yep, we'll be here. And we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back, and we're going to have the baseball team on. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Headed out to the game? Then make a stop at your local Valley Mart convenience store. With 12 area locations, Valley Mart is always right around the corner. Fuel yourself and your vehicle with quality branded gas and diesel, snacks, and fountain drinks. Always convenient, well lit with clean restrooms. Valley Mart, family owned and operated since 1984, and a proud supporter of Medina Valley athletics and area youth sports for over 30 years.
Security State Bank, your financial partner since 1925 with one simple goal, to be the best bank possible to the families and businesses of South Texas. Check out Security State Bank's competitive rates and services from local people you know and trust. Serving South Texas with 7 convenient locations, including 1726 Highway 90 East in Castroville. Call 830-538-9898 or online at securitystbk.com. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. The Medina Valley Broadcast Network. We lead, they follow. This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we're moving into the baseball part of our show here, and we've got a couple of the baseball players, but we're going to talk to Coach Herb first. And Coach, thanks for joining us here.
My pleasure.
And tell us a little bit about did you lose some seniors after last year? What do you have coming back, and what are your expectations for the season?
We did. We lost several key seniors last year, but like we said, it looks like we have a ton of seniors on the team this year. We have 10, I believe, but that's kind of a misnomer there. There's only like 4 that have starting experience, and maybe 5 of them have varsity experience. So we're an inexperienced squad this year, but good senior leadership that is there.
And talk to us a little bit about this. So if you have a lot of seniors like that and they only have a few starting experience, you have a lot of kids coming out to play baseball.
Yes,
right?
sir. We tryouts this year, I believe we have 17, and 15 on the 3 teams. So I mean, that's a good number, and we had to. Unfortunately, when we get that big, we have to let some kids go. We can't have that many people out there for safety reasons. Even it's crazy on one field. Now we have a practice field, so we send one group over there now, and we still have 2 full teams on our game field practicing.
So you have 2 JV teams.
We have a JV and a freshman team.
And a freshman team. Okay,
yes, sir.
That's all I was going to ask. I didn't know if it was 2 JVs and a freshman or how
we
that
used
worked.
to do it like that, but now there's so many freshmen coming. We want to try to keep as many of them possible together and have them work all the way up together. So little unity, they know each other really well that way.
Getting back to this season coming up here, you've got some of your main guys back. Mason Doyen pitching. He pitched a lot last year in the playoffs. Is he kind of going to be who's going to be your main pitchers this year?
We have him back. We have Zach back. Mason's in basketball still right now, so we haven't really seen him too much yet. But of course he's Mason. He'll do well. So Mason, Zach Hecker's back. JJ's back. So we have several pitchers back, which is kind of nice to see. Our outfield may look a little different than it has, and we don't have a lot back in the outfield. We lost Modulin, and that was a big loss. I mean, him ranging everywhere in center field. So we're going to try to do what we can to make up for that.
Those are going to be tough shoes to fill, let me tell you.
You still have your catcher, Grant, being back.
Grant's back. He gunned somebody out yesterday. One of the bright spots there.
So we scrimmaged Harlandale yesterday. Tell us a little bit how that, besides being pushed today because of the weather, what are your feelings on the game?
It was
scrimmage.
Like we were just talking about over there. We definitely have a baseline to start from right now. So it was inexperienced for us. We like we said we have a lot of inexperienced guys, and we played everybody, and we batted all 15 that were there. We have 2 guys in basketball, so we batted all 15. So they didn't get as many bats since it was our first going. Hardendale scrimmaged the Saturday before. We couldn't because we had our kids camp on Saturday. So they've seen live pitching. That was our first time seeing live pitching.
Okay.
So we scrimmaged 8 innings yesterday. There was several bright spots, several spots to show us what we really need to work on, where we need to spend a lot of time in practice. So we started with that today. So.
And tomorrow is Clemens?
Yes, sir.
Is that still a go for
Clemens.
5 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
At home?
At home.
We have 4 scrimmages, and they're all 4 at home, correct?
Yes, sir. We lucked out.
So no more of the Holy Cross, Clemens, Medina Valley triad?
The UIL pushed our start date back a week, and TAPS did not. So they were already starting tournaments when our scrimmage was supposed to be. And like Holy Cross Coach Pateo, he didn't even know that UIL had switched. So I told him when it happened, and he had to go scramble to try to find things now. So they picked everything up and then got it going. So
is there some little mini tournaments scheduled this year for the freshmen and the JV teams as well?
The Uvalde puts on a JV tournament, so both our freshman team and our JV team will be in that again this year.
And when is that?
That is the first week of the season. So we play with the big district that we're in. We play Uvalde first game of the year. Then the Uvalde JV tournament. the Uvalde JV tournament happens right after that.
So which of your assistants are
right now
in charge of the freshmen and which in charge of the JV?
Coach Qualls is going to work with the JV this year, and Coach Shearhart's going to work with the freshmen this year. So take them on the roads when they go.
You got some good help.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So Clemens on Friday, and then there's a Tuesday, Friday of next week, Brenham and Hondo?
Yes, sir.
All
Brenham,
at home?
Yes, sir. Brennan and Hondo.
And then Hondo, and then on the 25th, the season opens up at home against Uvalde.
Yes.
And then you go into Marion tournament.
Yes, sir.
So Marion tournament's new for Medina Valley. Tell us a little bit about that.
There's some good teams there. There's a couple smaller school teams, but they're legit teams. Like Blanco was in the state tournament last year. Who else in there? Kenny Lake's there. Marion's all.
Yeah, I was going to say just the host. Marion's.
Yeah. Lavernia.
Lavernia's there, and they were in the state tournament. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
Yeah, and something else new this year is that South Texas Slugfest, and then three host sites.
4 host sites.
4
now.
host sites. So
yes, sir.
4 now.
4.
Medina Valley, Divine, Hondo, and
Somerset. Yes. So I think there's 16 teams in the tournament. We'll host Thursday and Friday at Medina Valley. The Thursday we play twice. Friday we play once there. Then depending on how you do in the pool play there, you decide you're either going to play at Divine or at Somerset from how you do on Saturday.
So that's where the 2 championship games
Right.
are going to be.
Right.
Who is in each pod? Who is in
It's-
Medina Valley's pod? Do you know yet?
I don't know yet.
There's
That's a
4
good
in each,
question.
though?
There's 4 in each one, and they'll
Play a round robin
Coach
and-
Villa Divine kind of sets it all up.
So they're basically area teams. How did this
most
come
of-
together?
Most of them are from around the area here. Divine and Hondo had a tournament last year. They started it again. We used to have a Medina County tournament a long time ago,
And it included Lytle.
Correct, and it included Lytle. I mean, team from Oklahoma came down for
I
it.
remember that.
But now it's more local, and they only had Hondo and Divine hosting it last year, and when this change in time and we couldn't have Bandera canceled their second week tournament where we were in last year, and so we had to find something. And George said, Coach V over at Divine said, "Hey, how about y'all host a site and we'll expand it?" I said, "Well, we can do that." I mean, we talked to Coach Crisp, and he allowed us to get it going.
Nothing like playing at home. Yeah, nothing like playing at home.
It's great.
So district's the same as last year. What teams are going to be vying for spots this year, do you think?
Uvalde returned a lot. I mean, they're going to be pretty stout. All their pitching's back.
Well, they've got a top-notch pitcher too over there, don't they?
Yeah, they have. I think his name was Matt Sandoval.
Yeah, Sandoval.
He was. I think he was first team All District last year. Also, he's back, and the coach's son is a pitcher there. He struggled the first game of the year against us, but it was that wet game.
Yes.
So there was all kinds of walks, and it was a crazy game. But he can bring the ball a little bit too. So they have a lot.
That game you're talking about was in Uvalde?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
nothing good happens
Yes.
down there.
Nothing at all.
That whole town is like the Twilight Zone. don't matter what kind of sports you play. And usually when you go down there, the weather is just nasty as can
Yes.
be, even though it's supposed
Boy,
to
that
be
game,
baseball
it was
weather.
like a 25-23 ball game. The score
Yes.
was something like that.
2
and it was,
days.
and it
It
was
took 2 different
delayed. It
days.
took 2 days to play that one game, and it was 50s, low 50s, raining. It was
Yes.
crazy.
Well, what I had noticed this year, and I like it, and I don't know if it was because of transportation reasons, but the JV and the varsity are playing at the same place.
Yes.
And not JV's playing away and the varsity's
Right.
it's
Right.
a double hitter every
Correct.
time here.
Correct.
And I like that because the crowd can come and watch 2 good baseball games instead of having split the crowd up.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, and that to me never made sense.
Yes. And it's the only thing that's rough in this district that we're in right now, they start the JV games at 4:30. So that's tough. We don't get out of school till 4:15. So
Wow.
it's almost like our JV program, they have to get out 10 minutes early just to get down there and get loose.
So Medina Valley, Uvalde, who are the other teams to look out for?
Southwest going to be good again this
Southwest?
year.
Southwest will be pretty good. I think that
They lost their
Harlan-
pitching.
Yeah, their pitcher is at Incarnate Word now pitching. Harlan had everybody back. They didn't lose anybody, so they're going to be pretty stout again. Every sport Harlan's been. I mean, they're basically a big 6A already, so we're going to get after them.
Eagle Pass always is going to have one or
Win-
two
Win is always
throws,
good.
pitchers that they're going to throw at
All
you.
their pitching is back. Yes, sir. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to work for everything we get.
Wouldn't have it any other way, right?
Yes, sir.
And you lost your leadoff man because Cole was always leading off.
Who banged one off the wall this weekend?
And so what are you going to do there? Do you got someone with a lot of speed you're going to have leading off this year? Or?
Well, we're gonna find out if we can get somebody to lead off this year. We'll see. Somebody with some speed. Even in center field, where there's a couple guys vying for the spot there. I mean, there's competition almost at every spot this year, which is kind of nice. I mean, you have to bring it all the time at practice, or somebody's gonna step in front.
Well, the nice thing is you got the talent to reload every year.
That's
and you're never short of players at Medina Valley. That's
yes,
for
sir.
sure.
Yes, sir.
The outfield is going to be the work in progress.
Yes.
You're gonna,
One returner.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have, like Dwayne said, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of speed
Right.
that's coming up that can fill in. You're just going to have to – and the good thing about it is I know you'd mentioned some seniors that some of them were on the JV, but
Right.
they were down there for a reason getting playing time.
Right.
So,
yes, sir.
you know,
And I
you-
mean, we have one guy coming. Trace Ferguson's coming back and playing this year, and when he gets hold of a ball, there's the one guy that he puts a shot on it.
Well, when you can bench press 475, I think that you can hit a ball a decent way.
He's only a stud power lifter too.
One of the
Stud D
guys.
lineman.
One of the guys I do want to ask about what's the status of Jared Lackey? I know he broke his leg during football.
Yes, he did.
Is he going to He's
he
got a
looked
long
good
recovery.
yesterday. He looked good yesterday.
Oh, he was playing.
He
Okay.
was our starting pitcher last night.
He pitched yesterday.
Because I know
looked good.
he pitched some big innings for
Yeah, he
you in
did.
the
Yes, sir.
playoffs last year,
Yes,
and
sir.
having no varsity experience before
Right.
that.
Right, and he's still, a work in progress too, with coming back from the broken leg. Now he favors it slightly, but he's working through it. He still goes through therapy all the time. I mean, he's cleared to do everything that baseball wise that he can do.
Okay.
How can
I
you-
didn't know he would be back already.
I mean,
you know.
How
the way
can
that
you
he
not
worked
favor
brought him
it?
back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So what was the conversation like before the scrimmage yesterday with the Harlandale coaches after there was the last game that they played was against us?
Well,
Oh yeah, that was some game we did down there.
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. Their head coach from last year retired. I mean, not I won't say retired. He got out of coaching and is the assistant AD now at Harlandale.
And he'd been there a long time,
A
right?
long time, yes sir. Coach Forestier, yes sir. Now his assistant took over. Oscar Villanueva was his name. Valenzuela, I said Villanueva, sorry. But so he's been with Eric the whole time, Coach Forestier. So it's kind of a seamless transition for them. But they didn't even nobody brought it up at all. Nobody talked about it. They just went about their business, and we went about ours and got after it. They're a quality program. I mean, classy guys. I mean, it's always fun going against them.
You talked about a seamless transition. You're sitting there with a seamless transition, just like Coach Forestier was with you and Coach Keller. You know, was it easier to know the kids and have been here?
Oh, that part was great. Yes, I mean.
So how many years was Coach Valenzuela?
Valenzuela?
How many years was he with Coach Forestier before he took over?
I don't even know. It was a long
time.
Yes, sir. Long time.
Longer tenure than you and Coach Keller, or
no. Almost. I mean, I think it was more like 18 years. So this is my 25th year, and Coach Keller was there all the whole time. Now he wasn't always the head coach, but Coach Miller was there when I first started, and then Coach Keller took over and moved along with it.
Yep. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Oh, yes, sir.
And we appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing y'all play this year. And we're going to move to a couple of players that Coach Herb brought with him here. And which one of y'all wants to go first? We've had both of them here for football, so go ahead and tell us your name, your position.
I'm Tanner Bippert. I play shortstop.
And you always batted second last year. Are you
Yes,
going to
sir.
be doing that again this year pretty much? Or are they going to be moving you around?
I think
he wants you to kind of lead off.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I can take that leadoff position.
The only thing he didn't do was hit you with his elbow. That's the only thing he didn't do.
That's the only thing he didn't do.
Hopefully I could fill that leadoff position just as good as Cole Modulin did.
Who's going to be playing second base with you in the middle of the infield?
The guy sitting right next to me.
Charlie.
That's
Okay.
Charlie Marsh.
And tell us a little bit about the relationship you have to have with two middle infielders as your double play buddy. You know, tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, we have a pretty good relationship. I grew up with him. We always do stuff. We always played on the same baseball teams. We got lucky a couple years in like the Little League and got on the same team, so that's always good. I mean, any sport here, me and Charlie have played together.
You know, that goes for a lot of the kids your age. I mean, y'all have grown up together, and that's one thing about being in the small-town atmosphere. You grow up, and you kind of – you know what the other player is going to do or what he's thinking all the time, and that's got to help out.
Well, and Tanner mentioned, you know, getting lucky with the youth baseball. Well, you kind of had a little hand in it, you know, when your dad's the president. You could kind of, you know, maybe pick a couple of teams. You know.
Yeah, they helped out a little bit with that, I'm sure.
But anyways, goals for the year. On base percentage, you're going to bat about 550, 600, something like that.
If I could do that, I would be very happy. But, I mean, I think last year I ended with, I think it was about 270. So anything above that, I'll be happy with.
You have the coach sitting next to you that wrote a book on bunting. Do you see that entering into your game a little bit?
Being
trying to steal first base?
Oh, very often. Hopefully I could be aggressive as I want to be on the bases because I have fun just running.
I know a lot of people don't know, Tanner, but you worked pretty hard in the off season this year working on your hitting.
Yes, sir.
What are you trying to do different now?
This year, I'm trying to work more going opposite I actually played in a softball league, and that's kind of where I picked it up.
Because you were a strong pull hitter.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I've watched you a little bit here recently, and you're really trying hard to get the ball to go the other way. And you know, and that's a good point. That softball allows you to think a little bit,
It's
let
just
that
a
ball get a
different
little
pitching.
deeper. Yeah.
And so I worked on it there, and then just going to hit with a couple of guys on the team, just keep working with it.
But you played in the off season also, though, on a team also, right?
Not this summer,
Not this
no.
summer? You took it easy?
I actually worked full-time this summer.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Going from last year to this year, what is the one thing that you want to see improve in your game the most?
I've always been confident in my fielding, and I'm either up and down in my hitting wise. So hopefully I could just stay up all year.
Be consistent,
Yes,
hitting
sir.
the ball. Okay. Anything else, guys, for Tanner? Well, we know you play baseball or football. You do track or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I run track as well.
What do you do in track? What events do you do?
This year, I believe I'm going to be running the 4x1. They had a meet yesterday, but I couldn't make it because, I'm not going to pick track over baseball.
I don't blame you.
Expectations for the season as a team?
I hope we just go out and win district and make a run in playoffs like last year.
There you go.
Awesome. Tanner, thanks for joining us, and we're going to pass it on to Charlie Marsh. And Charlie, I'm not going to ask you to say your name and position because we already found that out. You're the second baseman.
Yes, sir.
I cannot remember. Did you play second base last year also?
Yes, sir,
You
I did.
Yeah, you did. I called all y'all's games. I
But
cannot
actually,
remember that.
beginning of last year, I was not the primary second baseman. It was kind of, I want to say mid-season maybe. There was
Okay.
a switch, and then I took over at that spot. So I wasn't always the primary second baseman.
And what, looking at this year, what are kind of what's the one thing you want to see improve in your game from last year to this year?
I'd say this year probably be more consistent at second base. I tried to work and get a little bit better with my glove and my arm. I happened to have a decent season hitting the ball last year, so I wanted to get better in the field and try and make my game all around better.
All right.
So last year you pretty much batted in the second spot, right? Or
no, you were
No,
down
I
like
was
sixth or
hole.
seventh, right?
Yeah, 6 hole. Yes, sir.
But that's an important spot too because you're protecting the number 4 and 5 hitters, and
I was very
every spot is important.
Yes, sir. Well, I was very lucky because, like you said, 3, 4, 5 was pretty good for us. Grant Snyder got hit by a pitch. I don't know how many times last year.
Every other bat.
So
every other.
So
at-bat.
I was very lucky to come up with a guy behind a guy who had a good on base percentage and got on base a lot. So I had opportunities to hit him in.
Well, and one thing and I don't know the exact numbers, but just by guessing, you've had to lead the team in extra base hits. I don't know how many doubles you had last year because it seemed like you were hitting a bunch of them. So when there was runners on base, you brought them in, and that was through the whole season. So hopefully you continue to build on that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
What was I going to go with? I lost my train of thought there for a second.
You're losing your cleanoff hitter, and then I think Dylan Fillinger was the 3 or 4 hitter.
Yes, sir.
Who do y'all see filling in that cleanup spot? You? I mean, are you going to move up? I mean, is that your goal?
I wish I would have asked Coach Herb this, but no, yeah, I definitely want to. Me personally would like to hit 2, 3, 4 somewhere in there. I want to have a big role in our lineup, and I see myself putting myself in a position for that. We had our first scrimmage last night, and like Coach Herb said, that was the first time seeing live pitching. So, got a lot of guys just got to get comfortable in the box. We got to see guys play, and the lineup will work itself out.
And the infield is solid. I mean, the returning infield is still set from last year. Third base, shortstop, second base, you're catching.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pitching is going to be the same. So it's the rest of the spots that need to gel. Once they start working together as a team, I think they're going to have a really good team this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the things I was going to ask you is you talked about batting behind Grant. He was on base a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Does your mindset change when you have people on base as to when you come up there and the bases are empty? Do you change your approach at the plate any?
My goal is always – I always hunt fastballs when I go up. My goal is to get a pitch that yes, I mean, when there's a guy on second, maybe with no outs, I'm going to try and put it to the right side at least, maybe on the ground, get that guy to third. So I was in the 6 hole last year, so 7 hole, a weak ground ball to shortstop, that's going to get a run in. But, I mean, basically any other position, I'm hunting a fastball, and I just want to hit it as hard as I possibly can.
Contact.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
One last important question. You going to change your walk-up song this year?
You know, that has been actually
I loved it, by the way.
A huge conversation in the Marsh household.
I loved it.
My mom and dad both are begging me to keep it because I had a good season at the plate last year.
I tell you what.
What was it?
When he comes up to bat, and you don't have to see him, as soon as you hear wasted days and wasted nights, you knew there was fear in their eyes because a double was coming, especially if somebody was on base. And I promise you, I think we even said that on air a couple of times because it was coming. So when they heard Freddie Fender sing, it was coming.
It was kind of a funny story. I got 2 or 3 compliments going up to the plate when we were playing at home about having a good walk-up song, so that made me feel good. But it was a funny story. It was right before baseball season. I was just hanging out with my dad, and he was playing some music, and he put it on. He said, "This is a good song right here," and I listened closely, and it hooked on me. So that's what my walk-up song was.
Well, if you change it, you go into a slump, you know what you need to do.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you doing track or anything else?
I am not.
You're
no,
not?
Sir.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the season. We look forward to seeing y'all play.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break and then come back to wrap things up. You're listening to Sports for Supper, and we'll continue here in just a moment.
This is MVBN, the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Think about how good it feels when people really get you. Like the friends who come over for the big game, they always bring your favorite snacks, and everyone knows about your special post-win fist bump. It's like having a State Farm agent like Hazel Russell. Hazel's here to get to know you and understand your life, so she can make it easy for you to protect what's important. Get an agent that gets you. Call State Farm agent Hazel Russell in Castroville at 830-931-3441 or visit hazelrussell.com today.
Sammy's Restaurant and Habeas Alsatian Bakery, 2 legendary landmarks in Castroville. From breakfast to delicious hometown lunch specials and more, Sammy's satisfies your taste buds with the unique flavor of Castroville. And from fresh baked breads to pies and pastries, South Texans have made Habeas Alsatian Bakery a must-to-visit since 1940. Sammy's Restaurant, online at sammysrestaurant.com. Habeas Alsatian Bakery, online at habeasbakery.com. Broadcasting for Medina Valley, the state of Texas, America, and
space, the final frontier.
This is the Medina Valley Broadcast Network.
Welcome back here to Sports for Supper, and we've kind of wrapped up the interview side of the show here, and now Jeff, Dwayne, Maury, and myself are just going to kind of talk about some things with sports. And Jeff, you got something to
Yeah, right off the bat, hey, we want to make sure we mention the Medina Valley Athletic Booster Club and all the great things that the Booster Club does for our student athletes out here. And, you know, people think that they just help out the high school. They help out all of our student athletes. Loma Alta, Medina Valley Middle School, the high school, you know, every athlete benefits from what our Booster Club does. And, you know, thanks to those people that are a part of the Booster Club, number one, but the Booster Club does need help, and they need volunteers. They need people to help with the concessions, and the springtime is the busiest time of the year for athletics in just about any school. And they're going to need help. They got the powerlifting meet coming up. They've got baseball game concessions, softball concessions. They just do a lot of stuff. And if you have any free time on your hands, please reach out to them and volunteer and lend a hand with those
especially
people.
if you got kids in the program right now. Give back a little bit, because the extra time that these coaches and stuff give, that you almost say they're not really getting paid for, because it's Saturdays, it's Sundays, it's nights, it's early mornings. Give back a little bit, help them out in the concession stand.
And then Jeff talked about the powerlifting. With having a niece that was in powerlifting, the meet that is here that they've had for years brings a lot of people, a lot of parents. I mean, the 2 gyms are packed. So the help needed to help for that event right there, and it's all day long. So there are always, you know, places where you can help out if you volunteer. They will find something where you can help out with, because that's an all-day thing, and the more help, you're not going to get turned down, I guarantee you. And the help is appreciated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so, you know, just reach out to you can go to their Facebook page is Medina Valley Athletic Booster Club, and I think they have a website now as well, and they do a real neat little thing called the Sign Up Genius. So it's a web-based deal that you can go on and sign up. So just wanted to throw that out there, Jared, while I had an opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely something we needed to talk about. And, kind of, guys, let's recap a little bit. So, softball and baseball coming up this season, looks like both teams are poised to have a pretty good season.
Absolutely. They're both, I think both programs are senior heavy, and that age group has got a lot of talent. I see good things happening on both sides, on the softball side and the baseball side. It's going to be an exciting season to watch them as they grow and move along through the season this year, because I see playoffs for both teams.
Well, and if you look at both programs and you've paid attention to the both programs, they're kind of mirror images of what they lost and what they have coming back.
Yeah.
We heard Coach B tell us about how senior-laden the softball is. Coach Herb said you got 10 or 12 seniors that are coming back. Both teams lost their leadoff batter. The girls lost Christine Sherhart. The boys lost Cole Modulin. I mean, both of them senior leadership. Both of them had been on the varsity for a long time. Both catalysts. Each team lost the starting pitcher. But you got the young guys coming back up, and both coaches sounded very positive. The outlook is tremendous for the upcoming season.
Well, it's always been baseball and softball. It's reloading. You don't ever rebuild it here at Medina Valley. It's reloading it, and just depends on how your talent level is for that age group and how your leadership is.
Well, the girls have had 5 scrimmages, and you really don't keep score in scrimmages, but they all did, and I think they lost to Judson, who's going to be one of the top-ranked 6As in the area, and they lost to who do we scrimmage last night? It was New Braunfels, who had a stud pitcher that's going to be a real good pitcher at the college level. So the teams that they've lost to are really good, and the teams that they're supposed to be competing with, they're competing with. So,
Yeah, and not to mention you're playing your whole roster, your whole lineup. Everyone's getting in the game.
She had JV girls playing. She had, she had a big mix, and you're competing, and you still don't have your district MVP from the offensive side out there yet. She's still playing basketball.
Well, that's the same thing what's going on the boys' side.
So you're still missing some key parts. So it's going to be a good year in the spring.
Yeah, last night against Harlandale, Coach Herb batted everybody on the roster.
Yeah, and
1 through 15 or whatever.
And that's okay, but you're getting close to, the way they do it now. That first game you play is a district game,
and
it could determine a lot in the district races for both of them.
And I will say this.
So you've got to be ready. You've got to play your best players going into that first Tuesday game, because it is an important game.
And I will say this on the baseball side, the regional outlook. I try to find some rankings on how the district would come out. They have Uvalde ranked number 1 in the district on this website here. So Uvalde, baseball. Uvalde number 1, Medina Valley number 2, Win 3, and Southwest coming in 4th. And we start out there just like last year. The very first game of the season is a district game. There's no tournaments or anything. It's straight in the district.
Against Uvalde, right?
Yes.
Against Uvalde.
And y'all just talked about how the district offensive MVP or the pitcher is back for Uvalde. So
I want to say
with little practice,
you're going to get the best right away.
Yeah, and I want to say he was an all-state pitcher too. So, I mean, it's going to be tough on the baseball side.
And I remember watching him pitch over here against against Medina Valley. And he did a good job against us. And then they pulled him out, I believe, and that's when Medina Valley was able to score some runs. They put him in late. I think he came in and closed the game out.
Not to put you on a spot, but is that something that will be on the network, that opening district game?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't got that far yet.
The only good thing, it's a home game.
No, we've been trying to get through the basketball season.
Yeah, we haven't got that far yet, but we will be broadcasting some games.
Sneaking up on you
quick. Yeah, it is.
When is that first game? Does anybody?
We're still 2 weeks away from baseball. Yeah, softball starts next week.
Yeah, because they said Coach Herb talked about how they pushed the season back a week or so.
February 25th is the first game.
Okay. Yeah, softball's got their first real game next next Tuesday, I believe.
You know, in the region on the baseball side, they have Kerrville ranked number 3, Alamo Heights number 8, Bernie number 7. I mean, so there's some good teams.
Yep.
And there's a lot of tough teams in
Always
the area.
Is. You don't forget, there was just about 3 years ago when our district had all 4 teams in the regional semifinals.
Yeah. And when you
we
look,
were the only 4 teams left in the region.
Medina Valley got knocked out by Bernie Champion, and they have, they're good pitchers coming back. Boyers is back, and he signed to go pitch at TCU. So he signed to play baseball there. So I mean, they've got some stout players coming back.
and he's one of the players to watch too on this list.
Well, sure.
And actually, Medina Valley has a player to watch too on that list, and Mason Doyne as a pitcher. So there's a lot of talent in this area.
Yeah, and in hopefully we'll see Medina Valley be at the top of that district, get in the playoffs, and you could see some pretty good matchups going into the playoffs later on.
It'll be fun. It always is. Always is. I can remember a couple of years ago when there were 30 scouts sitting up in the stands watching a kid that's pitching for A&M right now, Asa Lacey. He pitched 2 or 3 innings, and they pulled him out, and every scout got up and left. But it's always fun because we're going to face quality opponents in a lot of games in our district.
Yeah, but they're saying the same thing, and I saw a note on the Medina Valley's website that there's actually 6 kids right now playing college baseball out of Medina Valley right now in the field. So it's a good program, putting out a lot of good talent, and Jeff, your son, is one of them. A lot of high expectations looking for him this year over at Texas State.
This is going to be his first full season at Texas State, right?
Yep,
This is his first year there.
He'll be a junior there, and he was named the closer. So he'll be the closer.
He'll
for
be pitching
Texas
a lot
State
of games. We have Zach Griggs over at UTSA. You got Tristan at Texas State. Kyle Moose, I believe, is still at West Texas A&M.
He's at West Texas.
Sergio Escueda, he's at Texas A&M International. Garrett Leggett off the team last year is pitching over and playing over at Tarleton. And Cole Malden at Northeast Texas.
Yeah, and I looked up the stats on all those guys. Sergio's hitting over 300. And, of course, the D2s, they started 2 weeks ago.
Where is Sergio at now?
Texas A&M International. Laredo.
He moved from Brookhaven to...
Right. Yeah, he's hitting over 300. Kyle Moose is hitting over 300 as a senior at West Texas A&M. Garrett Leggett, I saw pitched pretty well in his debut I think it was 2 weeks ago. Of course, Tristan and Zach get started this week. So
yeah. Well, and the scrimmages keep going for Medina Valley. The scrimmage last night. They'll play tomorrow night against Clemens at home at 5 o'clock if you want to see that. And next week, 2 scrimmages, Tuesday against Brennan and Friday against Hondo. And then they open up the season the following Tuesday against Uvalde at home.
Yeah, and, we'll be doing a lot of those games, baseball, softball here on the broadcast network. But then, when we talk about some of the other sports going on, soccer's going to be in the playoffs. They're doing good. You're going to remind everyone that the tennis has their spring,
if you want, Jared, I've got some notes if you want me to go ahead and do some of these updates.
Yeah, talk a little bit about it.
I know we talked a little bit about the swim team earlier, but they did well in district this year, and for what did we say, their second season of swimming. Then the women's 200 medley relay, Jenna Bame, Caitlin Davis, Camila Lantiri, and Roxanne Morales placed 6th overall. Colton Holland placed 2nd in the men's 200 freestyle and 3rd in the men's 500 freestyle. Jet Winkler placed 4th in both the men's 200 individual medley and the men's 100 butterfly. Camila Lantiri also placed 5th in the women's 100 breaststroke. So that was in their district. So 6 of them qualified for regionals, and I believe regionals was last week. And they did well there. Junior Colton Holland, he placed 8th in the 200 freestyle, 11th in the 500 freestyle. Sophomore Jeff Winkler was 10th in the 200 medley. Jet, I'm sorry. I meant to say that. 10th in the 200 medley and 9th in the 100 fly. Camila Lantiri is 8th she placed 8th in the 100 breaststroke. In the women's 200 medley placed 12th, and that's Caitlin Davis, Camila Lantiri, Roxana Morales, and Jenna Bame. So they do not advance after regionals, but they did really well. The great representation there in district for sure.
And you talk about the swimming events. Just, I'm an Olympic, I watch swimming when the Olympics.
You're an Olympic swimmer?
No, not even close. I'd be an Olympic rock is what I'd be. But
he sinks to the bottom.
I'm just saying, I don't see how or why anybody would do the breaststroke. that looks so tiring. And I don't
Oh,
understand.
yeah.
You're not making any progress in the water.
You're not going anywhere.
It almost looks like you're fighting against it.
Who invented the breaststroke? Because that is tough. That is tough.
You got to be conditioned. Their season started way on October 31st, and they just finished on the 23rd of January for district, and then they had regionals last weekend. So it's a long season. That's a lot of swimming.
Absolutely.
That takes a lot out of you, and it takes a whole
swimming is
type of person to do that.
Yeah, it's a whole different muscle group and everything. I remember when I did my lifeguard test, just swimming. I mean, same thing. You're like a rock. You sink. It's so different. You use muscles that you never thought you had.
No, my hats off to every one of those swimmers because that is tough.
And that's one of those.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you this. A guy named Captain Matthew Webb was the first man to swim the English Channel in 1875. He used the breaststroke and swam 21 miles across the English Channel.
And after that, he got
a warm beer, probably.
No. After that, he probably got shipped to an insane asylum for even trying that.
And then on the powerlifting side, the boys and girls have done really well so far this year. And let's see.
I know Ferguson was an automatic qualifier.
Well, yeah, and then they've had some really good meets as far as the boys' side. They a couple of weeks ago at Randolph, they took first place as a team. And they followed that up with the Somerset powerlifting meet, and they took second place. And then I believe just this last weekend at the East Central Hornet Invitational, they took first place again. So they go this weekend with Saturday again at the Uvalde tournament, and they've done really well. I mean, as a group and as individuals. Let's see here. This is just last week at the East Central. They took for the first place, like I said earlier, and records were set. Diego Morales, Joshua Bazan, Gio Villafane, and Spencer Payne each brought home first-place medals for their weight classes. Eric Lopez and Paul Zertucci,
yep.
Both brought home second-place medals for their classes. Spencer Payne set 2 new school records with a 705-pound squat.
Oh.
Beating the previous record of 700 pounds.
Is that like a house?
And,
yeah. That's a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, and then he bench pressed 470 pounds on the bench press there, besting the 465-pound record that was just set by Trace Ferguson the two meets before at Randolph. So a little competition going on there between Trace Ferguson and Spencer Payne on the old bench press. But, I mean, doing really good, the powerlifting on the girls' side. Letsky Martinez, Alex Aguilar, and Regina Alanis each bringing home third-place finishes over at East Central also. And they have, I think they all have 2 meets left before that's over with. And then I guess they do the same thing. They'll qualify for regionals.
They move on. Maury remembers his niece did that a couple of years ago. So that's great, man. That sounds like Medina Valley Athletics is rocking and rolling again.
Yep.
And we went through a little dry spell there several years ago, and it's great to hear all these great things happening at Medina Valley again.
And as far as the let's talk a little bit about soccer. Boys just came off a 3-0 win against Floresville, and I believe they play tomorrow night against Southside, and that finishes the first round. So the boys are hanging around the middle of the pack right now, but they got the whole second round to do. To go through still, so they can catch up there. They're sitting at 3-3, I believe, in district. 3-3-1 in district, 7-9-1 overall. The girls' side doing really good on the girls' side overall. They're 15-3 and they're 6-1 in district. Just came off a 4-0 win against Floresville, and they'll be doing the same thing. Tomorrow night will be finishing up the first round. They'll be playing Southside. I believe right now in the SA area ranked teams by VIPE, they're ranked number 9 in the area. Number 1 is Madison, and one of their district foes, Harlan, is ranked number 5 in the area. So they're doing really good. So they had a playoff run last year, and I hope to see the same thing with the girls' soccer team this year. Who else we got to do updates?
You got a golf update or any of that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I do have a little bit of a golf update that you said that, Jared.
Wayne, you do a great job of this.
So, so the spring 2020 girls schedule, this is where they actually have the district and they can advance
Yep.
regional stuff. They did play some boys and girls did play some tournaments in the fall, but I don't believe there was any advancement. The girls, however, they don't start till tomorrow. Tomorrow is their first golf tournament. For the love of golf at the Republic Golf Course tomorrow. If you want to go check out the girls' varsity golf team, they'll be playing over there tomorrow. So their season is just starting. And on the boys' side, they played February 5th, which is what, last weekend? Was that last?
Yes.
5th, they went to the Somerset Invitational, which was hosted by the Pleasanton Golf Course. Medina Valley took first place. So good things that happened to the boys there. That was their first tournament, and then their next tournament is February 24th against at Blanco High School. So
yeah, because they can play up to 8 tournaments before district.
Yeah, so
we used to play 4 and 4. We play 4 in the fall and we played 4 in the spring.
So the golf tournament, the golf is just now starting.
Spring season, yeah.
Yeah, for the spring season.
Yep.
So
Well,
we've
good.
got that going on. And guess what? We got track going on too.
We got track too. We had a regional qualifier sitting here earlier.
And as far as track goes, I got an update on track that was
She
just
said that,
texted
too. Oh, did
to
you?
me
Yep.
earlier.
We asked her about it.
High jump.
So there was yesterday, Harlandale hosted the Harlandale Memorial Track Meet. Varsity boys got first. JV boys got second. So I'm not sure what the girls did. Don't have that information. But boys starting off really well with their first meet of the year. Next meet is on the 20th. JV and varsity will be at Southwest. So started off well right there for the track team also.
And a busy spring for everybody, too, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of things
A lot of things going on, and, we got baseball and,
You
and
know, you
softball
could just
kicking
drive
off.
up to the high school one evening and you could probably find something going on.
And I want to remind everybody, make sure you tune in Monday night or come to the gym here at Medina Valley when the girls take on Brackenridge, first round of the playoffs.
Whiteout.
It is a whiteout. Make sure if you come, you're wearing white. If you can't make it, you can tune us in right here. We'll be live on the air about 6:45. Game time's at 7 o'clock. Should be an exciting matchup.
Yep. And if you want help at the concession stand, I'm sure they'll take you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also, Jared, we are selling packages for that game, and we're also still selling packages for packages for the spring. So if anybody out there is interested in getting your business out on the air, let us know. Give us a call.
Yep, because basketball will be over soon, but we got a lot
Hopefully
of games
not
left.
too
With
soon.
no, hopefully not too soon, but we'll still have a lot of softball, a lot of baseball games coming up.
We'll
this
be
spring.
rocking and rolling.
Yeah, we will. We're going to try to do quite a few games.
And we're going to probably have a Medina Valley Broadcast Network 2 channel that we'll go to so that we can have both broadcasts going at the same time, baseball and softball. But that's something we'll address as it comes.
Will we have another talk show coming up?
That's going to be up to you guys. I'm thinking that it's going to get pretty busy. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
when we're
gonna-
going to
yeah.
have time to do something.
Well, we'll try to do updates during the games then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
updates during the games. Yeah, definitely. And, we're just going to rock and roll from here. I'm glad we got to do something here in the spring and got some of these student athletes recognized and the coaches and things. We can't do everybody, and, we'd love to have everybody. That's why we try to do a lot in the fall. But, if anybody's got any ideas, come on, throw them out at us. But this was enjoyable tonight. I think you guys did a great job once again.
Yeah, and I liked it. We got to talk to some of the like Charlie and Tanner have been here before, but we got to talk to some new players with the softball team coming in here. Girls we never talked to.
Yeah,
before.
it's nice to meet the new coaches.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Did y'all talk about all of the softball girls that are playing in college next year?
Well, we had a lot of signings.
Well, we had.
Yeah, we didn't go through all of that.
For right now, the players that are playing right now, Ariane Bell's playing for Texas State,
And she's playing lights
and
out right
she's
now.
tearing it up. Ariane Bell, who was an all-district player here, all-state player here at Medina Valley. Who else is playing in softball? I can't even think. Oh, Cassidy Brawley, my niece. My niece is playing at St. Mary's. So if you get a chance to go out to St. Mary's,
it's just right down the road. You
Yeah.
can definitely watch those games.
So there are softball players out there
And there-
playing right now.
And
as
I'll tell you
well.
what,
and we had some signed.
I'm just saying there was a lot of signings so far, and I know there's still some.
Gabrielle-
And there's going to be more.
Gabrielle Salazar signed with Coastal Bend College. She'll be moving on to play. Tristan Binky signed with
Schreiner.
Schreiner University
Yeah,
in Kerrville. She'll be moving
I've got a
on to
list.
play.
I mean, so far this year, Tristan Binky over at Schreiner in Kerrville. Gabby Salazar at Coastal Bend. Megan Hahn, volleyball at South Dakota State University. Gabriella McNeely going to be playing golf,
golf,
at Kansas
K-State.
State. She'll be
Yeah.
at Kansas State.
Wow.
Audra Clark playing in Nebraska. She's going to be a
Yep.
Cornhusker playing soccer. And then just recently this week, James Gibson, Medina Valley football, is going to be playing at Mary Hardin Baylor. He's going to
Yep,
be a
yep.
Crusader over there. Abby Zinsemar is going to be doing shooting sports at Murray State. She's going to be a racer there in Kentucky. And then we've got some other kids that are possibly still thinking.
Yeah,
I know
Spencer Payne will probably be going somewhere to play football.
Absolutely, he'll
and,
be playing football somewhere.
Ferguson will be going somewhere to play football. So we got other kids. That
We've
are still
got some
gonna be playing.
softball and baseball kids that are going to sign.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah,
eventually
yeah.
by the time it's all said and done.
Yep.
Yep. So a lot of exciting things coming out of Medina Valley athletics.
It's a fun time.
The last few years and heading into this year.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dwayne, you're going to be up to Texas State to watch some of those games, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be going to Texas State. We're going to be doing some Baylor visits too here pretty quick.
Oh yeah. Oh, is he decided?
We're thinking
not
about
going to
it.
put him on the spot.
Yeah, it's not
our
my
intern.
decision. It's not my decision.
Our
but
intern has been accepted
He's
to
got
Baylor,
questions.
Rice.
If he's got questions, tell him to talk to Shannon. She went to Baylor for 4 years.
He got an offer this week, so we're going to play
awesome.
that out.
Yeah. See, we only intern the best here. As long as he doesn't choose A&M, we'll be all right.
Well, he got an offer for them also.
I know.
So he's doing it right. He's playing the field.
Yeah. Well, good.
Well, he's
Yeah,
got to
that's-
worry about baseball first.
That's
though.
right.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the future is bright. The future is bright. And your daughter, where's she going?
She's an Aggie.
Oh,
Tried and
well,
true.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I tried to change her mind, but the brainwashing took effect early.
You didn't try hard enough.
She's going to a good school, and
No, it is.
That's
It is a
great.
very good school.
well,
A&M's
with her, what she wants to do in ag communications, that's a perfect place for her to be.
She wants to talk to animals?
Yeah.
Well, guys, you got anything else you want to talk about before we go here, or you want to wrap
Just
it up?
Want to wish everybody who has a significant other happy Valentine's Day tomorrow.
We'll be doing ZZ Top
So-
tomorrow night, Valentine's
Oh,
night.
boy.
Hope y'all all enjoy it, and I just want to wish my brother and sister-in-law happy anniversary, which is their anniversary this evening.
I'm sure they're listening.
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
They're
No.
at Ryan. They're
Little Ryan.
Yep.
Little
No,
Ryan.
we're not going to say because we're at an establishment ourselves. So
Oh.
they're enjoying themselves.
Hey, well, why don't you give
in
us the
San Antonio.
specials? There are some Valentine's
Hey, and
specials.
just
Alfredo, chicken Alfredo,
Alfredo.
with a glass of wine. You
Scott-
can't beat it.
Scott will be calling the varsity baseball games again this year. Welcome back into the press box to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Which frees Dwayne up to do color for me, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
in early retirement from baseball announcing, and we'll be doing color with Jared. Hopefully at a bunch of baseball games.
Yeah.
Hopefully
And-
a bunch of baseball
And Mario
games.
will be doing play-by-play with the softball, and Jeff will be doing
Along
color
with
there.
Jeff Stivers. So
Mm-hmm.
looking to have a good year. Now I like the idea where you can tune in and listen to both.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, you
same
can.
evening.
Yep.
And the nice thing about it is you can tune in after the fact and listen to the other game too. I mean, because everything's going to be saved on YouTube,
Yep.
so you can catch.
It's been
both
pretty
of them.
successful so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I mean, our football season, we did, this all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people go back and listen after the fact.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the parents especially they go
Tell you
back. They
what.
want to hear it. The kids too.
And a lot of the coaches also.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
coaches listen
Well, not
also.
and one of the biggest hits that we've had was that Powder Puff football game. And it's
Oh,
still getting
absolutely.
hits that Garrison called for us, and him and Tyler Magnum called, and that thing is still getting hits. I don't know how many hundreds of hits that thing has had so far. but
Thousands.
Yep.
It's in the thousands.
Is it in the
Oh,
thousands?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, it was
It's
great.
been a success.
Yeah,
Glad to be part of it.
And thanks to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors. So thank you to everybody that reaches out and puts something out there for these kids. We try to do the best we can, and we're starting our third year. And it's been a learning process. So we've upgraded the equipment, we've upgraded our presentation, everything, and we're going to continue to do so. Talking to Jared the other day about some of the equipment that we are going to be purchasing here in the near future. So it's going to be fun times.
Yep,
So
and
thanks to everybody.
we got some of the best announcers out there with these guys sitting next to us here. So it's going to be another good season.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't, I don't want to say this rudely, but hopefully we don't have to do the D'Hanis games because we'll be doing some Medina Valley games in the state tournament.
Yep.
Or maybe we can do them both since we're there already.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the D'Hanis softball and baseball, they're probably going to make it
They're
back
both,
to where they were.
They're both number one
Yep.
again in the state
Yep.
before the season. So D'Hanis, baseball and softball is rocking and rolling too. So, a lot of good things in Medina County.
Yep, absolutely. And one last time, I want to remind everyone, tune in on Monday night. We'll be live at 6:45, 7 o'clock game time, Medina Valley, first-round playoffs against Brackenridge. If you come out to the game, it's at Medina Valley at Panther Gymnasium. It's a whiteout. Please wear white if you come out there. Want to be very overwhelming. Brackenridge was a team that knocked Medina Valley out of the playoffs a year ago. Panthers looking for a little bit of revenge and some satisfaction back against them this season. We'll be doing that game live, so make sure you join in or come out there. Jeff, one more thing. Go ahead.
Yep. Thanks to Sammy's Restaurant
absolutely.
for hosting us. And Duran and the family here have really welcomed us, and they welcome the kids, they welcome the coaching staff, and we love, thank you, Sammy's Restaurant.
Can't thank them enough.
Yeah, exactly, for letting us do all these broadcasts here. We really appreciate it, and it's been great doing them here. So for Maury, Dwayne, and Jeff, I'm Jared Lucky saying good night, God bless, and we will see you Monday night when Panther basketball continues here.